Hello, this is the tradesight U.S. stocks and futures market preview and U.S. Economic data roadmap for the week beginning Monday, the 30th of December 2013, and then Friday, the 3rd of January 2014. We start the new year this week. Here's a look at the S&P 500 daily chart. This is the broad market index. Talk about how when indices and stocks are up for the year, late in the year, it's pretty hard for them to sell off. Pretty thin in the last week of the year. Volume's been only about a billion, 1.1 billion shares on the Nasdaq, which is horrible and light and hard to trade. Hard to expect things to move technically. So we've been pretty light on the trading. This is common in the week between Christmas and New Year's. But overall, again, light trading activity, but it's drifting upwards because the sellers just aren't here. Nobody wants to sell and take the tax, lock in their tax gains on their positions, which are mostly up for the year. So that may change come January 1st, or the first, not the first, but the first trading days or so of January. Let's take a look at how this week lays out. First of all, here's the S&P 500 at new highs for the year, 1841. It's been a nice year for the S&P. Nasdaq 100 reversed a little bit. It was closed a little negative today, so not a new high, but the prior day was a new high, closing high for the year at almost 3,600. Here's the stocks, the semiconductor index, new high, closed for the year. Again, everything was pretty flat on Friday here. Nobody really around. There's the biotechs. Note that the biotechs are finally going to get the 13 cell signal here potentially if they have any green day at all on Monday or Tuesday. Actually, it'd have to be Monday. Otherwise, we're going to have a new 9-bar setup. Let's take a look at how oil closed out the year. Back up to 100, almost 100 on the dot for this week. And here's a look at gold. Gold prices down here. Now, what about some of the bigger stocks that we like to follow? Apple, big trader for us. Hanging near the highs, but drifting a little bit lower this week, despite the fact that the market made new highs. Here's Google making new highs. It's got a 13 sell signal in place. The risk line's coming up. Be interesting to see if it just hits that for the last day of the year and then comes back down. Amazon's had a 13 sell signal, but it's been, look how dead flat for 5 days in a row on Amazon. Here's a look at Netflix, which finally rolled over, getting good day. Again, a lot of these stocks may roll, and so some of the professionals might come in now and try to short them ahead of the selling that will occur maybe to start the year. We'll see how that plays out. Tesla's made it back up to its static trend line at 160-ish almost. And we'll take a look at Twitter just to look at Twitter. Big run up from 60 to 75 in 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then all the way back to 63 on Friday. Obviously been in the news, but here's a great example of a stock where nobody wants to lock in the gain. Remember, all the stock, anybody who's holding the stock from the IPO is priced down to 20s. So, take out all the trading from 50 to 40 in the first month or so, and the reality is that anybody that owns this stock and is stuck in it, nobody wants to sell this thing, lock in a big gain. So this thing just runs up here, a little short squeeze even. People trying to short it probably got squeezed a bit. You can see the big bar on Thursday, but that's going to probably fade off here now. It's just part of the process of short squeezing the market. Let's take a look at the futures for the last couple of days. I'm going to go to 10-minute bars actually on this one. So this is Friday's trade that we just completed, very flat, obviously. Thursday, small gap up, drifted. This is Tuesday's half day. This is Monday. So this was last Friday. You can see from last Friday we got a little gap up that we've not filled. And other than that, we've drifted up about 35 points, 40 points on the market. 35 points. So you had a little gap up Friday that you didn't fill. And then Monday, again, a little gap up that you didn't fill, but very, very flat. Look at these days, very flat overall. You're talking about each of these dashed lines is 4 points of range. So barely 4 points of range on the ES on Monday. Tuesday was a half day, no volume at all. Wednesday, another little gap up that has not filled. We got about 6 points of range. Thursday, there was no trading. Wednesday because of Christmas, and then Friday, a little gap up. We did fill this one, ended up closing dead flat for the session. Volume was only 1.1 billion NASDAQ shares both days, which is horrible. So what do we look at coming in the week ahead? Let's look at the news first. This is an incomplete chart. For whatever reason, Briefing isn't listing data from Monday and Tuesday. So we'll combine here. According to Forex Factory, we've got one more week forward. So according to that, we've got pending home sales Monday at 10 a.m. for the U.S. We've got Chicago PMI consumer confidence on Tuesday. That's the New Year's Eve day. It is a full trading day, Stock market has to be open full day the last trading day of the year by rule. Obviously, nobody's going to be around for it, but that's just the rule. So that's Monday and Tuesday's data. Wednesday we're closed because of New Year's. Thursday, initial and continuing jobless claims as usual. Construction spending ISM index. Natty gas Friday. Crude oil inventories, auto and truck sales. The other calendar actually has natty gas on Friday, so we'll see. That's what happened this last week. It's a weekly number. So what do we do overall here? What are we looking at? Well, unfortunately, these holidays on Wednesday are the worst case scenario for Christmas and New Year's. Divides the week up. You always get a horribly slow week between Christmas and New Year's. Even if Christmas is a Sunday and New Year's is a Sunday, and then you just get the Mondays off. The days in between are the lightest week of the year by far. People are just out with their families. Nobody's doing anything, and they're just trying to wrap up the tax year. So we really, that's why the volume's light, and it's made worse by the fact that the holidays are Wednesday and Wednesday. Monday, probably going to be horribly slow. I do have a couple calls going up in the report just in case, but there's no reason to think it's going to be exciting. Tuesday, even though it's a full day, it shouldn't be. Nobody's usually around. They're traveling. They're getting ready for their parties, their New Year's parties and whatnot. Wednesday, the markets are closed. What becomes the big question is Thursday and Friday. Because the holiday is Wednesday, are people really going to come back for 2 days and then a weekend just to start the year out? And even if they come back a little, is it going to be enough, or are we actually going to get to work? Hard to believe we will, but I do plan on having calls in the report for Thursday's trading just in case. If Thursday's dull, obviously Friday is going to be dull, and the real trading will start next Monday. But maybe what we're going to see is that Thursday and Friday this week are just a little bit better than Thursday and Friday last week. Be interesting to see if we get any immediate selling in some of these stocks that have been up so much. But I wouldn't just assume that that's what's going to happen. It doesn't have to play out quite like that. It just means that now if the market does start to roll, or if somebody wants to free up cash, they're going to be able to do that by closing out positions here that they wouldn't have closed out prior. Doesn't mean there's a huge sell-off in the market coming. You have to understand that. We will have an end-of-year report. We will have our December Forex and futures numbers totaled up probably by next weekend or so, depending on my schedule. We'll be trading it this week, mostly from the lab, I guess, but I would expect, I'm going to check Monday to see if anything happens. I'm going to check Thursday. Tuesday, probably nothing. Friday, really depends on what Thursday looks like, but I'm not expecting it. I think it's going to be a week from Monday that things pick up again. Hope you have a great New Year's holiday. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 11. We will be in the lab helping you in the markets all week long, or at least in the mornings. And have a great holiday from tradesight.